Well, hey there, and welcome to Board to Learn, the channel dedicated to helping you learn how to play your new games faster. My name is Kent, and today we're looking at Golden Goal, a tactical soccer or football game, whichever you prefer, for 2 players. So, meet me at the table, and we'll get started. In Golden Goal, 2 players compete in an overtime showdown, each trying to be the first to score the winning goal. Each turn you'll roll a die to determine how much movement you have available. Use those movement points to position your players, pass the ball between teammates, and line up the perfect shot. The first player to score wins immediately. To set up, start by placing the field between both players. Then place the ball in the center of the field. Each player chooses a team and takes its 5 player pieces. Each team has 1 keeper and 4 outfielders. Choose a first player at random, then take turns placing 1 player in a space on the field at a time. You can place your players in any order, but there are a few placement rules to follow. Your keeper must be placed directly in front of your net. 2 or 3 of your outfielders must be placed on your side of the field, with 1 of those players being placed in the center circle. The remaining 1 or 2 outfielders must start on your opponent's side of the field, but not in the center circle. Once all players have been placed, setup is complete. Before we go over how a turn works, let's take a look at the layout of the field. The field is divided into individual spaces, much like a chessboard, and only 1 player may occupy each space. You'll also notice a few important markings. The center line divides the field into 2 halves, and the center circle is where every kickoff begins. Each penalty area can only contain 1 defending outfielder at a time. Finally, the 2 spaces directly in front of each goal are reserved for that team's keeper. To begin the game, both players roll the die to determine the kickoff. If there's a tie, both players roll again. The player with the higher roll wins the kickoff. That player then moves the ball from the center point a number of spaces equal to the difference between the 2 rolls, following ball movement rules, which we'll cover in a minute. After the kickoff is complete, the player who lost the kickoff takes the first turn of the game. Every turn follows the same 3 steps. Roll the die, choose 1 of your players to activate, and then spend the rolled movement points, moving the player, kicking the ball, or a combination of both. Now, let's talk about how your players move. After rolling the die, choose 1 of your players to activate. Each pip on the die gives you 1 movement point, and you may spend those points to move that player 1 space at a time. Players can only move orthogonally, which means up, down, left, or right. They cannot move diagonally. As they move, they may change directions as many times as you like. They cannot move into or through a space occupied by another player, and during that movement, you cannot move back into a space that player already occupied this turn. Players may move through spaces that are out of bounds, but the ball itself always stays on the field. If your player moves into the space with the ball, they must stop moving immediately. From there, any remaining movement points may be used to kick the ball. Now let's talk about how to kick the ball. With the exception during the opening kickoff, every kick in the game begins by moving the ball 1 space for free. This first space does not cost a movement point. After that, each remaining movement point allows you to move the ball 1 additional space. For example, if you reach the ball with 3 movement points remaining, your kick may travel up to 4 spaces, 1 free space plus 3 additional spaces. A kick may travel orthogonally or diagonally, and during the kick you may change direction once by exactly 45 degrees. The ball may not move through players, and it may never leave the playing field. If your chosen path is blocked by an opposing player or would leave the field, you'll need to kick the ball in a different direction. If your kick reaches another one of your players, that player immediately takes possession of the ball and begins a new kick. Just like before, every new kick starts with 1 free space of movement before spending any remaining movement points. This means a single turn can include several passes, with each receiving player getting their own free first space. You may continue passing between your players as long as you still have movement points remaining. You can even pass the ball back to a player who has already kicked during the same turn. Let's look at an example. I reach the ball with 3 movement points remaining. My first player kicks it 2 spaces to a teammate using one of those movement points after the free space. That teammate now begins a new kick, so they get another free space before using the 2 movement points that remain. Once you've used all your movement points, your turn comes to an end. Just remember, if you didn't kick the ball this turn, you must use all of your movement points, moving the one player you chose to activate. Before we move on, there are a few additional rules to keep in mind. Your keeper is the only player who may occupy the 2 spaces directly in front of your goal, but they may also be used just like any other outfielder, moving and kicking the ball while following all the normal movement rules. And finally, you may only have one defending outfielder inside your own penalty area at a time. Now, let's go over the most important part of the game: how to score a goal. To score, the ball must completely cross your opponent's goal line from either of the 2 spaces directly in front of the goal. Since the ball may never pass through an opposing player, there is one way the goalpost can work to your advantage. If a shot strikes a goalpost from inside the penalty area, it ricochets into the goal and scores. However, shots that strike a goalpost from outside the penalty area are not legal scoring shots, and they would ricochet out of bounds. As soon as a player scores, they immediately win the game. Let's do a quick recap. On your turn, roll a die and choose one player to activate. Spend your movement points moving that player until they either use all of their movement or reach the ball. If they reach the ball, they stop moving and use any remaining movement points to kick the ball. Remember, each new kick starts with one free space of movement, allowing you to chain together passes between teammates before ending your turn. Continue taking turns until one player successfully scores a goal and wins the game. Before we wrap up, the rulebook also includes 2 optional sets of rules you may want to use. The first is called No Killjoy Rules, a handful of recommended rules designed to keep matches fun and competitive. These include preventing goals during the opening kickoff, making sure your opponent always has a path to the ball at the end of your turn, and allowing your opponent to reposition one defender if the ball ends its movement directly in front of their goal. The rulebook also includes several ways to play longer matches. Instead of ending after the first goal, you can play first to 3 goals, play a fixed number of rounds, or allow the opposing player one final chance to tie the game after every goal before determining the winner. One final tip: don't focus only on shooting. Setting up good passing lanes can often be the difference between taking a difficult shot this turn and having an easy scoring opportunity on your next. And that's how to play Golden Goal. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and consider subscribing to learn more great games. Turn the bell on to be notified of my latest videos. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer. And remember, it's not just how you play, it's how much fun you have. I'll see you next time on Board to Learn. Spend the rolled movement points moving that ball player as soon as a player scores, they immediately win the game, and you have to yell, "Goal!"
Yay.
And that's how to play Golden